Let's go, LSU fans. We've got another film study to run through. LSU, of course, takes care of business versus Nicholls. Comment below who is your game MVP. Lots of position switches. Once again, it is a little pixelated, this copy, but we just want to get through it. This is just really good offense. Run a go. Nobody's going to be able to keep up with C.J. Daniels on a deep over, and obviously the fake was able to get that linebacker to bite up, and this is what we want, man. A really good yard per route run playmakers such as C.J. Daniels to get the football, get upfield, pick up a first down. And this should have been a penalty right here. This is a big hit. Is that a penalty? Okay, I'm fine with letting that go. All right, so Will Campbell false start penalty led to an Aaron Anderson screen, and now we get to this 2nd and 9. And, man, I'm glad they're giving Shelton Sampson some run. I also like that Garrett is excitingly taking a vertical shot. Why not? You know, you can hit this if you want. Who cares? It's not an explosive. Let's take this one-on-one, and Shelton just simply gets knocked off his route, right? Now, physicality is something that's been a concern to start off Shelton Sampson's career, and you see the DB is able to pin him to the sideline. So he's out of bounds. Even if he would have gotten back inbounds, it would have been a penalty. And you see the referee put the hat down right there, okay? I don't know. Is Emory Jones supposed to block down? And I don't know. I really don't know. I would like to think that Emory Jones was supposed to block down and take this guy. But no matter what, whoever's job it was, you know, there is an A-gap player running through here, so we want to block the A-gap blitzer first. So I'm guessing, once again, it's just a guess, Emory Jones is supposed to block down and get him. This is just not good protection, okay? Unblocked B-gap player. So Garrett Nussmeier has just got to eat a sack. I would just say just eat this. Don't just throw this football up. And that's really bad quarterbacking. It really is. This is never, ever getting completed. Ever. There's no reason to throw that football. All right. So you get the safety, which sucked because you don't want LSU to just be given the game, right? Especially if you're playing someone bad that you know you're going to win. LSU special teams has been really, really, really good up to this point, okay? Coverage, the whole shebang, okay? Yeah, you gave up the deep kickoff, but even then that featured an amazing tackle from your kicker, and that should have never happened if you never had the penalty. I'll tell you this. I know he kind of whiffs his block right here, but Womack has been a huge, huge addition for LSU on kickoff and kickoff return in the early portions of his career. Now, I'm going to make a comparison here that's going to sound a little ambitious, but you guys know how high I am on Zavion Thomas. Now, he's not this level of player. He just isn't. But he does have some Geis in his game, right? That looks a little bit like Darius Geis, the way he used to return kicks and break tackles. He's got this bounce, this energy, this raw athleticism that is very tough to tackle. He is violent, right? That was why I graded him as a borderline 5-star talent coming out of high school, because he's so dang physical and violent when he runs. I mean, even here, okay, take a look at this. He gets hit late, and this guy falls down, okay? All right, we get to this 1st and 10, and, you know, Garrett is still trying to get this chemistry going with CJ, and honestly, this throw just needs to be better. I mean, the pocket is really good, and we want to take this shot, okay? Yes, of course, you could throw this ball to Aaron, but these are the kind of shots, you know, we have to hit. And these are the ones we hit last year, and it's just not a good throw, right? A good ball, CJ's probably mossing that guy. One of my favorite things to do is throw to the running backs in the flats. I even like it better out of a play-action fake and then throw into the running back. This is just really good offense, okay? And honestly, right here, we should have gained more yards. All right, so Nuss gets it right here on his upfield shoulder. He's able to catch the football, and we get a little bit of a stumble, right? This does affect the play. And once again, everything is moving so fast. This isn't LCA anymore, and you just now switch back to offense. So we give you them link neighbors number 8. You see what you do. Jawan Johnson, and cuts back, and he's not able to make the guy miss, okay? All right, 3rd and 6, excuse me. This is really good quarterbacking from Garrett Nussmeier. So his job right here is to read the cloud corner. The cloud corner actually watches a lot of film because he knows LSU likes to run a lot of smash to the short side, especially with Kyren Lacy. So Garrett sees that this corner is running with Kyren, but he actually breaks it off and gets over here to Mason, okay? So if Garrett would have faked here, he would have had Kyren for a big one, but you want to throw quickly here because there's an extra benefit of, even if he's tackled short, is a fourth and manageable, okay? I do not mind running on fourth and short. I never have, and I never will, okay? The issue is how we ran on fourth and short last week, right? Just simple inside zone with no guys spread out wide, no window dressing. And you see, even that jet sweep motion just opens things up just a little bit, right? It gives you more to guess about. Not every guy is just cramming to the inside, knowing where the ball is going to go. All right, so here, LSU just overthinks this, all right? What a run. This is what we want out of LSU, 12 personnel, and smash-mouth physical football. Look at this movement right up the middle. We need Trey Green to make this block right here on the end. He's able to get that done, and you get great surge. Now we just need Caleb to make this safety miss. He did have to leap over a blocker here, so he's able to fall forward. Now, this is my issue with this, right? You see Caleb's like, hey, let's just go. Let's just run the next play. Let's just run it again, okay? The issue I have is LSU decides to do something crazy here, all right? You have Nicholls on their heels, and I would want to do this versus any defense in this situation. But Joe Sloan elects to bring in a heavy-set personnel. I have no idea the extra benefit of it. Now, I do think the way they do this heavy-set personnel is interesting. This is Bo Bordelon, a former offensive lineman. They switch him to tight end, right? He wears number 89 now. He's their blocking tight end, okay? So now we take out our receivers, bring in an extra tight end. So we actually just took one receiver out. But now Nicholls knows we're going to run, all right? They're like, okay, why would you bring in all this heavy-set personnel and we know you're going to run? I understand it's 2nd and 1, so you do get a little extra equity. And I think in this spot, Joe Sloan is experimenting a little bit here to see if this is actually something that works. So I'm fine with that. But you're tightening the formation, right? That's what they want you to do. You know, if I'm Nicholls, I don't want Trey Green, 6'8", going up against 5'3" defensive back who'll be selling insurance next year. No, I want him out here, right? But you're just cramming everyone in. And while I was still live during this rep. There's no need to even signal in a play. Just run the same play. You see, I wouldn't have. So they bring in Bo Bordelon here. Offensive lineman. You got moved to a blocking tight end role. I just wouldn't have even done all this. I would have just run the same play. Now you're tightening the formation, which makes it even easier to defend. You see, it just makes no sense. I'm sitting here telling you this. It makes no sense. And you'll see that these are 2-star athletes repositioning our really good offensive linemen, okay? Now, should that be happening? No, it shouldn't be happening, all right? But they know what play is going to come, all right? And then the second thing, guess who ends up making the tackle? Guess who ends up making the play? It's the guy who we brought in because of Trey Green. It's the corner who knifes in here, okay? It's lunacy to do this. It's lunacy. Lunacy, all right? Makes absolutely positively no sense. Now, we decide to do basically the same thing. I don't mind throwing out of this look, right? Because they're thinking you're going to run again, all right? A throw out of this works almost every time, all right? You can see they're filling the run. It's an easy read, and it gives Garrett, Trey Green, his first touchdown, and a ton of confidence. Really, really, really good stuff on top of some very questionable stuff. All right, so we move ahead here. 2nd and 9. And, well, this is an issue, all right? This is P.J. Woodland, 3-star freshman, all right? You got to make this tackle. You're unblocked. You make this tackle, it's a nothing gain. But I'm always lenient towards true freshmen. Always lenient, all right? Jordan Allen, starting safety, who's had a really good camp when it comes to tackling and filling. Okay, I've gotten that on good authority. I've even seen it. Sticks his head down, loses his leverage, arm tackle, all right? And now it's off to the races, okay? Sage Ryan, can he make a play? Well, no. That would not be on brand for Sage Ryan. All right, 1st and 10. All right, play action fake. And, this is tough, okay? We're in clear single high. Looks like we are running man coverage over here. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to run routes that gets our guys running into each other. And, this is just really good football. Hit them right in stride. It's good right there by Ashton Sims sticking with it. Want to limit those, though. All right, here we go. 2nd and 7 after a really good tackle by Gio Paez. I didn't show it. All right, little RPO stuff. Throw it. When you like the one-on-one matchup, he likes it, and they take it. Very, very interesting stuff, okay? All right, so 4th and 5. This is after a Nicholls timeout, and this is a really good recognition by their QB, okay? We're bringing 2 blitzers, all right? And Perk actually gets through there, all right? So this blitz actually worked, all right? They just do a good job playing quick, fast football. Motion this guy in. Bobby Petrino did this all day versus Oklahoma State. It is so hard to guard. The Eagles did this the other night as well. All right, when you're stacking these DBs in a motion and you break them to the inside, man, that's just tough. That's a really tough play. Woodland almost actually gets over here and makes this play. This almost was a ridiculous play by P.J. Woodland, but he gets thrown off, can't make the tackle, and they pick up a 1st down. All right, so this was a very questionable call right here by Blake. He had been blitzing a lot on this drive. I don't know why we kept blitzing when they were playing this quick, okay? It was kind of a weird decision on this drive in particular. This is just a perfectly executed screen, okay? We need to shed blocks, see if we can make this tackle right here, okay? We do. That's a good job right there by PJ. All right, so this should never happen. It should never, ever, 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 ever happen. So they go Wildcat, okay? So they have a 3v2 over here. That means we more than likely have them outnumbered in this box, okay? Now, every gap should be responsible for. I didn't say that smoothly at all. But every gap should be taken care of, all right? The issue is it's not, okay? Perk's job was this gap right here, and it does look like there is a hold. It does look like a hold right here. This is outside the frame. If this left arm was in this part right here, I would let this go. That's holding. All right, you've got to whistle that. All right, when you're grabbing that much jersey. And I'm fine with being lenient on holding. Still, with that said, we shouldn't be giving that up. Same thing here. All right, we're struggling to get aligned. This should not have scored. All right. I understand it's short yardage and it's Nicholls. This should not score, all right? We know they're handing this. Their quarterback's not really much of a run threat, okay? I'm a little shocked right here, okay? Knowing that the QB's not much of a run threat, I would have preferred my end in this situation wrong arm this, right? So I would have preferred 4 here, which is Swinson, to go inside this block and then have another guy scrape and become the new contained guy. So I would have preferred him cut to the inside here. I'm partially guessing that's what he should have done, but he gets kicked out here. And then the second thing that happens is, our DTs get washed out. So Gio has done a really good job penetrating. The issue with penetrating at the goal line is they'll just wash you out of plays, okay? So they're still able to create a hole here. They got our guys kind of washed out. And look, we couldn't fill this. This should have been filled, and they're still able to score. That's really, really, really tough. All right, we get the football. All right. And this is just good offense. This is what we want, okay? We want them playing off of Kyren and us playing pitch and catch, okay? Bang. All right. It's basically what we did with Malik throughout the entire Malik era. All right, so we try to hit this deep ball here to Malik. I say Malik. Freudian slip, because Kyren's going to be that good this year, hopefully. It's going to be really hard for Kyren to be that good, but you know what I'm saying. Running the double move, right? This is a play that we have killed. I mean, every game. You can go look at every single game that we have played versus a non-Power 5. This has been the executioner move to get us an early TD, right? We've done it with BTJ and Malik 1,000 times. So we get it, and guess what? We have them beat. Two things happen, though. We do get a slight overthrow right here from Garrett, okay? The second thing that happens is this is partially on Kyren, okay? So you'll see that this DB is able to get his hand on Kyren to slow him down, right? You have to know in this situation that at some point the DB is going to do this. So you have to anticipate that, and with your left arm, swipe this arm down. So get your left arm, swipe it down, and then that pauses him, and then you can get back to putting on your high horse. Instead, even though that is, in theory, PI, they rarely call that. You need to get that arm off of you a little bit sooner, and if that happens, maybe that's a perfect throw. It's still a slight overthrow. Biggest play of the game right here. It's from Garrett Nussmeier, okay? This is all we are asking out of him, okay? Have teams respect this. Nothing is open outside of this to Caleb, okay? I'm kind of shocked he didn't get to this, and this is, in theory, open to Zavion, but, I mean, it just kind of slowly gets open. I understand not wanting to rip it right there, okay? And then you also could have worked back right here to CJ, okay? And he's working back, but Garrett is like, look, I've got room to run here, okay? So guess what? I'm going to do it. And that's what we want, right? You know, we would prefer the QB if it's that wide open to just run it because there isn't the chance of an overthrow or anything like that. So good stuff right there by Garrett. All right, so LSU really likes Zavion Johnson offensively, right? They wouldn't have just given him number 8 just for the sake of it, all right? Now, once again, there's another offensive player with number 24, Landon Ibieta, so that's partially probably why they gave it to him. God, this is a perfect throw right here by Garrett Nussmeier. Bang, okay? So remember earlier we had some wasted movement. This helps Zavion Johnson get this upfield, and look at this blocking. Man, that is really freaking good. Now, let's make a guy miss. He does right there. It's really good stuff, and that's a good job by Shelton just letting him go, right? Man, that's just good offense all around. So this is a play LSU's run throughout the Brian Kelly era. I think this is called snag, right? You know, your zone beater is right here, okay? And they're in, looks like some variation of zone. It might be, man, I don't know. It's tough for me to not know without the play calls. Man, that's really good ball location by Garrett. Get it in the outfield shoulder. Now we need CJ to make a miss. That's a good job by the DB, reacting. But CJ does fall forward. Look at that, CJ Daniels. Look at that. Man, impressive. All right. Really good single high beater. And, we talked nonstop last year before the season. I wanted Malik Neighbors to mostly play the slot or the number 1, right, on a trips formation just because you can do so much with them. Same thing is true with Kyren, right? It's a good job by Aaron Anderson, and it's a good job by CJ Daniels. God, it's really good by Aaron. Look at that swim move over the top. And now, look, we got 2 guys running right at the safety, and the safety's got to make a choice. He's got to run with Aaron, okay? So Aaron is the safety's guy, and Nicholls doesn't have anyone to guard Kyren here. Man, that's really, really good offense. That is a brilliant, brilliant design right there by Joe Sloan. Like, you cannot draw up a play and execute it any better than LSU did right here. And this is why I want Kyren with the football, because I'm not sure anyone else on the team is going to be able to do that, right? Let's go. All right, so Jacoby and Guillory goes out, and Sean Washington goes in. So here he is next to JVR Suggs. And this is actually a good rep from Sean, okay? In the spring, it was brutal for him. But towards the end of fall camp, he got better and better, and that's a really good job, squeezing this run play in. That's a good fill right there from Perk as well. All right, we get to this 3rd and 3, all right? This is tough from Major Burns, tough, okay? You are leveraged to the inside of this slot receiver, okay? One's a good player. Let's be fair. One's a good player. But the shorter slot guys are going to give him trouble in straight man-to-man coverage. All right, so if you're Major Burns, so one thing we don't want to let happen is you get beat to the inside, okay? Especially with your leverage being the way that it is right here, okay? You get a little square, and, man, this is just too easy, all right? You're beat to the inside. This is good anticipation from, the QB, okay? This is a difficult play, all right? This is a very, very, very difficult play. But on 3rd and 3, I would expect the clamps to be put down in this situation. And I think that's fair for Blake to expect that as well in that spot. So I understand he's been on the channel, but Gabriel Relaford, I mean, this is really good stuff from him and Sean Washington. This is called squeezing down this run game. Okay, look at this. Keep your outside shoulder free, and let's just squeeze this as tight as we can. This is a good job by Sean Washington as well. Man, this honestly is really good. So you see he's getting that's honestly perfect. Like, you can't do this any better. So you see him getting a little peek to see where the running back is. He sees that the back starts to flow this way and then feels out that this back is coming back this way. That's how it's supposed to be done, okay? This is a good job just squeezing everything in from those two. And you also see 14 in here as well. Good to see that. And he's able to get in on the action. Good stuff. All right, so if we're being honest here, it looks as if LSU is playing a defense full of 3-stars, and that's exactly what this basically is, okay? This honestly is really, really, really good quarterbacking, okay? He sees that this dig is going to be open in this window, okay? Witt looks like he's doing his job right here. One does a good job sitting. I mean, old DBs are pressing down on this a little bit sooner, okay? And Jordan Allen's just not able to make a play, okay? Not only does he not make a play, he misses him, okay? He misses a tackle, all right? We're just lacking playmaking juice. And Sage Ryan, it is good to see that he actually tackled a few guys this game, okay? All right, so, man, this is just, sometimes you just got to tip your hat. Okay, you're throwing the football 5 yards backwards, okay? And let's see. We get through pretty clean, and it's a one-person route. Okay, so 9 acts like he's blocking, and Whit Weeks actually is not fooled by this. Okay, he's actually with him stride for stride. Now, should Zy Alexander be the deepest guy here and be on top of number 9 right here? Pause. Maybe, okay? So maybe this isn't on Whit, but this, honestly, a receiver on a trick play on a leaking tight end, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I understand I'm a big Whit Weeks fan, and it sounds like I'm protecting him there. That's just an absolutely redunculous throw and catch. All right, so 1st and 10, we're trying to get Caden Durham a touch, okay? I see what we're trying to do. Leave the end unblocked, okay? And let's see if we can get through this without blocking the end, all right? Doesn't work, all right? It is just bad design. I see other teams do these kinds of things, but we're just not able to execute it. All right, this is one of the few times, well, probably one of the many times you'll see the big difference between Jaden and Nuss, right? And Jaden's the only human that's actually running through this and actually running for a touchdown, right? So with Nuss, we just want to gain these yards. Smart, live to fight another down. All right, this is really, really good wide receiver play from C.J. Daniels. It honestly really is. Okay, we're max protecting, so we have both our tight ends to block. This is a good job by Caden Durham helping Emory Jones out because let's see. Oh, Emory got tripped by his own guy. So Caden Durham actually saves the day because if not, 45 would have been able to bend around here. It's really good stuff right there by Caden, okay? And look at this throw from Garrett Nussmeier. Look at the location of that ball. Beautiful. Great route by CJ. He's able to get upfield and take a big hit as well. And he actually almost gets out of this. That is insane. Oh, man, he's going to hate himself for not getting through that. Excellent stuff. You'll see it right here. It's a 2-man route. So Kyren draws the safety here. Okay? That's good stuff. And, man, that's just good football. All right. Best play of the season from Aaron Anderson. I really do mean it, okay? A lot of his catches last week were just, wide open by the byproduct of the play. We really need him to beat this defender who has a leverage advantage over him. And this is where Aaron is so good, okay? These short, quick jump cuts, okay? Look at this. Bang. He's really selling that he could be running, a deep over. And that just turns this DB around. That's really, really good stuff. Garrett waits for him to get wide open. And look at this ball location. It's really good. That allows Aaron to cut up field. And, man, he almost gets through there. Good stuff. All right, so Joe Sloan switched some things up in this game, and one thing he did a better job of was throwing the ball to the running backs out of the backfield, okay? I love compressing this formation and just having a race to the pylon here. And that's basically what this is, okay? CJ's done a really good job of this for LSU. You know, obviously he did this for Aaron. Just getting other guys open. Not really a pick, just kind of getting in his way, and then he moves out of his way. And all we need is Garrett to hit this upfield shoulder. Bang, hits him right in the number. And there you go, number 8. Scoring a touchdown for LSU. Has that ever happened before? Jawan scores his first ever TD. Good stuff. All right, so Brian Kelly was furious at the end of the half for the 2-minute drill. We're not going to get into him chewing out Ramos for not being ready at the snap for the kick. Obviously, we're not going to break down all those plays. Ricky Collins had to come in, and he made Ricky made a good throw to Zavion. But on top of all of that, Garrett throws a really good ball here to Zavion as well. Obviously, if you are Zavion in this spot, you want to go straight out of bounds. And you'll see that the referee makes the right decision to run the clock. Okay, a lot of people don't understand this rule at all. It has nothing to do with you getting out of bounds. It has more to do with your forward progress going out of bounds. So you need to go either this way or on your own run out of bounds. But if you are losing forward progress here, it's a run clock situation. So obviously if you're Zavion in this spot, you want to catch this and immediately turn and get out of bounds. There was a few other clock management errors. You know, Ricky Collins came in the game and tried to run for a first down. The referee was actually kind in giving LSU some extra time that they probably didn't deserve in terms of a 10-second runoff and all that stuff. And Ricky has to know you just throw the football out of bounds with no timeouts. But, you know, he's barely played. And Brian Kelly chewed Ramos out for not being ready, right when the referee was getting ready to signal. So you see, he's still on his back heels. Slade Roy does the smart thing to T-Bob this thing and just get it out. And obviously, Ramos just was not ready for it. This also wasn't the best protection right here from Zavion Jones, but at the same time, you could see Ramos just is still on his back heel here. Normally, he's at the ball a little bit quicker, and I don't even know, was this ball even, was it blocked? Okay. No, it doesn't look like it was blocked. It wouldn't have had that kind of spin, and he just obviously slices this thing to the right side. It looks like pretty much all y'all's golf game. Right, so this is a play I've gotten the most questions about, which was the deep Wildcat touchdown run. And yes, we did get a little Matt Housey on this run. I'll explain what I mean in just a second, okay? So we're in a heavier set. We take Major Burns out of the star position, and we actually move him to one of the two traditional safety positions. We have a true freshman corner over here, and we got a year 2 corner over here. So Whit Weeks is essentially the star, but in theory, we're just in a traditional 4-3 front. And I know a lot of you want this to be LSU's base set, except you want it flipped. You want Whit Weeks to be one of the traditional 2 linebackers. You want Harold Perkins to replace Major Burns as the full-time star, right? The position he basically played last year, a thick nickel corner, okay? So what actually happens on this long touchdown run? Well, a lot of calamity, and it's near impossible to fully know what happened on this play, okay? The first thing here is it looks as if our defensive tackles are being told to slant to the right, okay? So we have Gio Paez in a 3-tech. We're telling him to go through this A gap. We have Ahmad Bro a shade. We're telling him to shade through this B gap. The issue is our contain defense, okay? Were we supposed to twist Zavion Jones to come around here? Highly unlikely in a Wildcat shorter down situation do you run twist, okay? So the issue here is for some reason, Ashton Stamps decides to blitz off the edge here and fill the edge, and this is what the Madhouse defense really struggled with. Spacing and 2 guys doing the same role and covering the same gap. You never want 2 guys covering the same gap, and in theory, they're both in the C gap, which in also theory, this is basically the contained defender. We don't want 2 contained defenders. We would prefer Ashton Stamps to be here to help defend against explosive plays, right? Part of the benefit of running a 5-man front is your edges are going to really be capped by thicker players, and we don't need our corner to run up here and be the contained defender. Now, we get to another big mistake here. Major Burns, to me, is just way too close to the line of scrimmage. I prefer my free safety in this situation to be a little further back, because the one thing we don't want is a 70-yard touchdown while we are up 2 possessions, okay? I don't mind being aggressive, but this is needlessly aggressive. And you'll see what happens here is also Harold Perkins not playing the smartest football here, because maybe Perk was thinking that Ashton Stamps' job was to fill this A-gap or at least stay right here. But just judging by the alignment here, I'm guessing Harold Perkins' responsibility was this A-gap right here. But you'll see he scrapes over the top because he sees that the running back is starting to press to the right side, right? So that's what we want our linebackers to do. We don't want them just to sit in their gap, just to sit there. But the problem is Gio Paez loses his eyes. He penetrates. Sometimes, Paez in his first couple of games, he's been a really good penetrator and a playmaker. But sometimes, if you don't get initial big penetration, just stop. Don't just needlessly get upfield just for the sake of getting upfield. Stop, reset, and use your eyes to find the football, okay? So he kind of runs himself out of the play too. We don't want that, okay? And Perk, who's scraping over the top, when his gap was back over here, is now on the other side of the center, okay? So now we have all these guys to the left guarding this run to the left. It opens up a cutback angle to the right, all right? Or to the defense's right, to the offense's left. Major Burns, once again, is way too close. He gets caught up in the mush. And the problem is, it's not that Harold Perkins wasn't there. It wasn't that Major Burns wasn't there. It wasn't that Ashton Stamps wasn't there. It's that none of them were there. And that's a big, big, big problem, giving up untouched 70-yard touchdown runs. Y'all, this is what I normally see when I used to cover high school football on Friday nights. This is what you see in middle school football, okay? You cannot have this happen. Now, I do like the hustle by Ashton Stamps to catch a good running back, Guggenheim, Oppenheim, Heimheim, whatever his name was. This was that bad. It really, really, really was that bad. I do give Stamps some credit for trying to get back there to make that play. Are you going to cut off ESPN angle of the end zone, okay? So you'll see it right here, all right? Paez needs to stop. Let's just not penetrate just to penetrate. And that is especially true with a Wildcat quarterback who is not going to sit back and drop back and throw, right? If he's more than likely going downhill, and you're likely not going to make a tackle penetrating upfield, okay? So reset, all right? Reset. And then when you get even, get back, okay? If that makes sense, all right? It's just nasty. It's really, 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 really nasty. So, lucky enough, the LSU offense was cooking, all right? Man, C.J. Daniels had a really good game. This is him playing a de facto tight end right here. Once again, I'm not the biggest fan of doing a wide receiver this close to the line of scrimmage, but we do have them spread out some, so I'll take it some of the time. It's just a quick same-side handoff to the left, okay? Too many times in LSU's run game, in shotgun, you're thinking if the running back's to the left, he's running to the right. I love the same sideness. Chip Kelly does a really good job of inverting a lot of his run calls, and this is just good stuff. Creative run scheme from Joe Sloan. The problem here is a better linebacker is still scraping over here and making this play. 44 has a really bad missed tackle right here. Okay, you see him? And he just misses him. Okay? Still, give Josh a lot of credit for breaking through, and we finally get a nice explosive gain in the second half of the run game. What LSU doesn't want to happen, always relying on Kyren Lacy to bail us out, okay? If you want to guard Kyren Lacy man-to-man, sure, do it. But he's going to cook you on a whip route. That's just nasty. Absolutely nasty. I'm just happy that this corner was able to keep his feet, okay? Another thing I like about it is the design, all right? One thing that I've seen a lot of teams do, and this is how Brian Thomas actually scored his first touchdown for the Jaguars today, as I'm recording this, is putting, he obviously did have wide receiver. It's even better when you do it with a tight end, right? one of the two tight ends at 12 personnel leaking across the back, it's so hard. And this wasn't even a leak. This was just a straight route. It's really hard to keep up with it for whatever reason, okay? Bang. Trey'Dez Green is also open, okay? Now, was there a problem on this play? Well, there was, okay? LSU's offensive line has had some penetration issues, in particular in the red zone, okay? We do give up pressure right up the middle, and it is A-gap pressure, all right? This is a problem. Let's see, whose responsibility was that? Let's see, who's the center here? Okay, so, okay, that's Paul Mabenga who had to step in here, and that's him at left guard, and he honestly just misses him. And then he probably thought Chester was going to help him out in this A-gap, and it was just too late. You could see Chester trying to grab him, and that's a lot of pressure. Garrett Nussmeier, this is just really smart quarterbacking. If you know you have man-to-man, you want to fade away, all right? And fading away to make this throw at a better angle and staying away from the rusher makes everyone's life a lot either. Yeah, that's actually not bad right there from DJ Chester. That's actually really good from Chester. He feels that his new left guard got beat to the inside with the swim move. You'll see it right here. So I like that Chester tried to come in and save the day, and honestly, he kind of did by just slightly impeding him to slow him down some. Okay, it wasn't much. He kind of tripped him up, and man, this is just a nasty route right here by Kyren Lacy. I don't really fault Mabenga. He's not really played all that much, but still, good throw, good catch, and we'll take it all day, every day. But we do need Garrett Dellinger back ASAP. All right, so we get to here, and man. PJ Woodland, he had a tough night on some reps, but goodness gracious, this is such a fantastic play. I'm just happy that there is a DB who gets beat, all right? That's not good, but the fact that he sticks with it and does some Tyrann Mathieu ball skills, look at that, finds a football. Look at how clean of a Peanut Tillman punch that was. God bless America. Cannot do it any better than that, and that honestly ended the game. You know, it's a 9-point game, and then he finds a football and picks it up. Once again, it's Zavion Thomas making plays, man. Still stand by it. I think at the end of the year, he'll be the number 2 receiver. And the bottom line, okay, so we do get a little lucky here. This is a legal man downfield, okay? As you can see, Will Campbell went to the second level right here, all right? And, yeah, that should have been a penalty. I don't know how the refs missed that. But the bottom line, it doesn't take anything away from Zavion. Remember earlier we were talking about how violent he is? He's so violent. He's so fast. It's really hard to keep your feet against him. And had to wait on it, and he's still able to cut up field, make that guy miss essentially, and eventually goes down. Good stuff. So you bring the blocking tight end in again, and you have Mason Taylor here in 12 personnel. I actually like this a little bit better because we have 2 wide receivers out wide. So we got them spread out. And what I like about this is there's no safety up over the top. So the way this DB is leveraged, you have to like your DB's matchup versus Kyren Lacy, but this is Kyren motherfreaking Lacy. Look at this juke to get this DB's hips opened up, and he beats him to the outside. Garrett sees it, and look at the anticipation to throw with this. He's already throwing. He's already beginning his motion, and Garrett has a really nice compact motion. He's already beginning it right now. Okay, so he's trusting Kyren to get to a spot, and Garrett throws with such beautiful touch and precision. Look at where this ball is placed, y'all. Bang. Absolute beauty. Kyren's able to get multiple feet in bounds, and a cheerleader gets a bit of a spill here. Hope she's okay. That is really, really, really brutal. All right, camera guy's like, I'm not helping. I'm getting the shot. And I'm glad Kyren was okay, man. Tough night. He took a bunch of tough hits, but we progress. Now, what do we make of this LSU game? Well, in the pregame, I let it be known that I was taking Nicholls plus 40 or plus 39, whatever it was. And I probably would have taken it all the way down to plus 30, right? I watched a little bit of Nicholls. They were decent, unlike some of the other non-Power 5s we played in the past couple of seasons. But I actually do believe, and by the way, one final thing on this rep, okay? We do want to secure the football all the way through, okay? Obviously, it gets batted out. Bang. All right. So we want to make sure we secure it. We saw USC struggle to do that, and Ashton Stamps make a big play for us last week. We're lucky, the refs, they decided to give it to us because it was a touchdown, but still. Now, I actually do believe in Brian Kelly's jet lag theory, and I'm not just saying that just to say it, because I told you that once again in the pregame. Okay, now I don't get everything right, but I got that play call that we ran in the first half was going to fail. Told you that live on stream. But pregame, I said, go take Nicholls, because I do believe in the jet lag stuff for LSU. And you could tell that they were sluggish. But at the same time, you can also tell that this team is lacking some gusto. All right? It's lacking some juice. Now, you know who's not lacking juice? Our partners, NOPOD, Zion Imaging, and, of course, the NoOffSeason.com network, all a part of what we're doing here on PHL. Please go support those businesses. And I'm telling you, the best way you could support me, drop a Venmo Cash App. I believe one of you guys watching a premiere right now, watching this live while we're all chatting together, you're going to drop a nice $20 one right now. I know it's going to happen. But I was going to give you an early South Carolina prediction. I actually like LSU to cover 7.5 next week, early in the week. I think they're going to come out and play their best football next week. I know South Carolina's got some really nice players, a true freshman pass rusher that's elite, but we got all week to preview that game. I used to do radio in the Greenville-Spartanburg area. So comment below your thoughts on the overall performance, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! And tonight, we're doing ribs. Let's go.